Okay, so I'm at a little preserve area. It's part of the Flint Strand Preserve. It's part of a larger block area. It's like 14,000 acres of preserved wetlands and watershed area. It's part of the Corkscrew Ecosystem Preserve Project. Um, anyway, it's pretty cool. So usually I hang out at this one little area, and I decided this morning I'll go down another road, and turns out there's some lakes here and some other hiking trails, and it looks pretty nice. So I'm gonna hike around and see what kind of things come my way as far as nature, and do some filming, and I'm sure I'll see some cool things. Usually do. So I can tell already there's lots of bird activity and things like that. So I look forward to sharing what I'm able to film. So for the first day of the year, I think this is a good thing, is just get out and enjoy a little bit of nature. So anyway, enjoy the footage. So this was just entering the park on the trailhead, so to speak, and right away it was like just bring your heart rate down scenery, just peaceful, tranquil, with a little bit of a little fog still in the morning, and nice little birds there, some ibis, and I think the mottled colored ones are immature ibis. And this here, the ants in Florida, they have various little mounds they make, but they're tenacious. So any little disturbance on these mounds and they just go crazy. And I don't think they're fire ants per se, like actual fire ants, but it seems like most ants around here will sting you or bite you, and they leave kind of a nasty little sting that swells up, and you get a little pustule. So you definitely don't want to get stung by those guys, which I have been. So this black caterpillar caught my eye as I was walking along, so I thought I would kind of look a little closer and observe it. And it was a cool little caterpillar, so I just wanted to appreciate it and take a little footage of it. It's pretty elaborate hairs on it. I touched it maybe a little bit more than I should have when I first picked it up, because sometimes their hairs can be toxic. You get a rash from picking them up or interacting with them. But anyway, we'll see what happens. But he was cool to watch. I don't know what species it is, but anyway, nice little silhouette of him, and it had some cool little colors. Well, as you saw just a couple clips ago, there's gators around here. So, New Year's Day, 2023, Alexander sees his first wild alligators. That was on my Florida bucket list. So, there were quite a few cruising around. So, it was really fun to watch them and see how they just swim around. They're pretty casual animals. There was a big one on the bank, just kind of hanging out. The sun wasn't out yet, but I'm sure the water was fairly warm. So yeah, they're just cruising around, and I got some good footage coming up of one that I was able to get pretty close to, comfortably close to without getting too close. But it was pretty big. The one that I was able to get closer to, I think maybe, I don't know, could have been 9 feet. I don't know. Some of these gators were big. So this is the alligator that I was able to get a little bit closer to. So at this point, he's just kind of cruising along towards the bank. And I know that he was aware that I was there, but he just cruised up. And then I was surprised how comfortable some of the birds are around the gators. I'm sure they know when they're in danger or not, but to me they seemed like they got pretty close to the gators. But again, I think they know when the gator's in hunt mode or not. I guess if they see them, they know they're safe, maybe. It's the ones you don't see. So that gator crawled up on the bank over there, and then he was hanging out over there, and I didn't realize he had gone further up on the bank. So I saw this really beautiful spoonbill. I mean, the plumage coloration was fantastic. I mean, the bright kind of pink rose color, and then there was I think it's a mottled egret or heron. I think it's a mottled heron, if I recall correctly. I talked to a birder, and I think that's what he said, but I'm not totally certain. But the spoonbill is a cute bird, and he just kind of goes along and sifts out probably small critters from the mud, I think is what they feed on. Kind of sift out little crustaceans and whatnot. And I think the heron, they were kind of working, I don't know, not as a team, but I think the heron was able to catch some fish that maybe the spoonbill disturbed, and made them a little bit easier pickings. And then egret flew in too. So I think they kind of work off of that spoonbill a little bit as he disturbs things. Makes a little fish move. I think they pick them off. But yeah, I really enjoyed watching the spoonbill. Okay, you can hear me kind of walking a little closer to this guy. So I think it shows on video that it's a pretty big gator, maybe more than 9 feet. Anyway, it's not a gator you'd want to mess with. It would definitely if it could get a hold of you, it would definitely try to eat you. But anyway, he was a beautiful animal just to check out, and he was just taking it easy right there. And then later, as I walked away from him and filmed some little fish, some bass feeding, which I'll show here in a minute, I think I made him uncomfortable too, so he slipped back into the water when I wasn't looking. Okay, these are some little tiny fish, maybe about 1 inch long, 1.5 inches, that were just cruising along the lake's edge, staying schooled up. Again, they're kind of at the bottom of the food chain, so there were some bass in this lake also that I saw that were hunting these guys. So they were just kind of fluidly cruising along, pretty cute little guys to watch. But danger was always lurking for those guys. So this is the whole kind of one view of the lake, and you can see the gator, the big one that was on the bank, still just kind of floating across. They have such low energy expenditure. It's really great. They're either laying around on the bank or just floating with very little energy to move about in the water. Very efficient animal. So then these are the bass that were also cruising along the edge of the lake. And this was a little bit still early in the morning as the fog broke. And I think they were still in hunt mode in that early morning. And so they just kind of went back and forth, and they had kind of an ambush style where they would kind of go out and then cruise up to the edge and kind of come in and wait for those little fish to come by. And of course the mottled heron, he's there waiting too for a little fish. So this is how the bass would come in and just watch the edge. And he didn't have a good situation there, so he backed out. And here's another one coming around. And some good cover. And there we go. Darted in and grabbed a little fish. You can see the little fish scurrying off there. So here it is in slow-mo. Pretty spectacular. Not as fast as the jacks in one of my previous videos. that I had filmed, but still pretty awesome. So again, I can't resist these ant mounds. They're just, I don't know, endlessly entertaining to watch these little ants scurry about when you disturb their mounds. So, no harm. And then as I was heading back, some more good footage of some lazy gators. This was also a pretty big gator just laying there in the sun. It was a beautiful day. And I think this, again, it looks like a different species of ibis, but again, I think it's an immature ibis. And these are some fritillary butterflies, not this one. This was a beautiful little butterfly that just sat there, and was able to get some good footage of him. Very beautiful. And the fritillary butterflies, they're really tough to get to film. They wouldn't sit still. I couldn't get too good a footage of the inside of their wings, but the outside is pretty awesome too. You can see there's like a cat eye on that lower wing. Maybe that's to scare predators. So these are the lakes I went to, and this is where all the gators were. A few little ones right in here, but that's where I was. And it's 60,000 acres. Corkscrew Watershed project. Nice. Okay, well, what a fantastic nature walk that was to start off the new year, 2023. So this is a very healthy ecosystem and preserve they have out here. From gators at the top of the food chain all the way down, little fish and insects, it's butterflies everywhere. It's extremely beautiful here. So much bird life and just really cool things. So glad I came out here. So I found a coconut too. I'm gonna crack that open a little bit later, have some coconut milk. And I love the coconut flesh with Lint 85% chocolate. Very tasty little treat. So I've been trying to find coconuts as much as possible while I'm in an area where the coconut palms are. But anyway, so this has been really beautiful. And I will say one thing about 2022. Great year, awesome travels, very free for me. But economically, it just sucked. It's like inflation and high interest rates. The Federal Reserve just cranking up interest rates to control inflation because it's so dangerous. So it's a catch-22. So they're not going to quit raising interest rates until they crush the economy and unemployment goes up and people lose their jobs and lose their homes. And it's going to get uglier before it gets better, I think. So 2023, I think the first couple quarters are going to be a little bit rough, but then we should start to see maybe a pivot on the Fed's part at some point, or at least easing, and things will start to normalize again. So anyway, it's good just to make money if you can and weather it out, enjoy life. And a little note on Bitcoin, if you can. It's not a bad idea to hedge a little bit against inflation with Bitcoin for long-term holdings. So like I said, with the Bitcoin cycles, things are down right now. So, you know, risk reward looks pretty good. So anyway, I might do a little video on Bitcoin again here soon. But anyway, that's it for this little adventure, and to kick off the new year with this little nice piece of nature. And hope everybody has a good 2023. Alexander adventures on, and we'll see you down the road.